I like the gym, let's go. Beanshooter, somebody's gotta let them know. Beanshooter, I like the gym, let's go. Beanshooter, it's not a line he doesn't toe. In a world full of dogs, you're gonna need a dog catcher. If you're wearing a mask out there, and fresh air's gonna get you. He always shoots from the hip. For iced coffee, take a sip. Toss it out the window at a bar, let her rip. Beanshooter, like a gin, let's go. Beanshooter, somebody's gotta let them know. Beanshooter, like a gin, let's go. Beanshooter, there's not a line he doesn't toe.
What do we got? What episodes is this? Any idea? So I don't have any.
30-something.
Yeah, 30-some, 36, 37.
Yeah.
We're at Colombian tattoo numbers now. We're past Paul Pierce, right? We're past 35. I don't even know.
I think we already did the Larry Bird.
We already did Larry Bird.
33, 34.
All right, guys. I know Bundy looks a little different. He's been doing the Ozempic. He lost how much weight? You lose, Bundy?
I lost 80 pounds.
No. I got an old friend with me tonight. Bundy couldn't make it. Chris McDonald,
What's up, everybody?
also known as
Froggy. You know it.
Anyone who's ever been to any sporting event in Boston over the last 35 years, how long have you been scalping
I've been
tickets?
selling tickets since 82.
82.
1982.
92,000.
And people have said to me, I remember your voice, how you've been here forever. He said, I love your deep
40
voice. And I hate
years?
my voice.
How long is that?
I started in 82. I was like 17 years old. I started going down there, skipping school. And I went down there. I was making good money when I was young. And I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah.
Worked 2 jobs in my life.
Did you?
Yeah, that's it. 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anytime I ever needed tickets, Froggy would always help me out. Froggy, Sean Cody, Tweety, all those guys. Donnell. Remember what's his name? Dennis Roberto. Remember him?
Dennis, yeah.
Holy, is he dead?
Yeah, he died, I believe, yes.
Yeah, a lot of them are dead. But yeah, Froggy's always down Fenway or the Garden. Never really Foxborough, huh?
Yeah, no, Foxborough, they got like 10 different police things down there. Not like Boston. They try to arrest you or bring you in and take your tickets. They used to take your tickets and your money and not give it back to you.
Really?
Yeah, that's why they got everybody's names and stuff, and they stopped doing that down there. Everybody stopped. Boston, you have people come up to the police and like, hey, what's up? How you doing? How's business and all that? It's a lot easier in Boston.
Yeah. I mean, the ticket game, the scalping game, I mean, for as long as I can remember, you guys down the old Burger King across in the Garden playing spades, in there, you and Donnell and Sean and those guys for as long as I can remember, and then, it's almost like the equivalent of having a medallion and having a taxi cab in Boston, then Uber comes around, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
So then they come out with this StubHub and everything, and that really that sucked for the ticket scalpers because everybody's on their phones now and they just buy it and they walk up and they show them the ticket. I mean, I'm an old school guy. I still go to you. I like having the ticket in my hand. I hate that.
Oh, yeah.
Almost like a souvenir. You're going to a game, you're going to a Super Bowl, right? I don't want this fucking thing on my phone that you're going to scan. I don't want it. I want the ticket. I'd rather be in the street with you guys and getting them and like that. And now I'd much rather go to you guys anyway, no matter what it is, just because you're not paying that fee. Like, fuck
and of course, Mike, you're
and all
always
that.
looking for the best seats in the house, of course.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about you, man. You go down there, you know what you want, you get it done,
Yeah.
Some other people are like, I don't want to spend this much, that much, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember when I just went down, saw you guys down there, Game 5, when the Celtics won it all. I'm like,
oh, yeah.
Man, I go, listen, this is my only problem spending the money, is if I spend that money and I go in and they lose, I want to go jump off the North Washington Street Bridge. I don't. But if they win, Who cares? You know, it doesn't matter what you pay. It's a little different going to an NBA championship. Game 5, you get a chance to win. Even if they didn't win, they're still gonna win, right? I mean, that was my thought on that. But going to a Super Bowl these days is so much different where, you know, you go there to see your team and you pay all this money. If they lose, especially the price of a Super Bowl ticket now, it's over $5,000 all day long. Mm-hmm. Cheapest seat in the house is going to be probably $6-7 these days, you know? The first time I went to a Super Bowl was 1990 season, so it was in 91. It was the Bills-Giants when Noah Wood shanked the field goal. And the tickets were $500 a piece. We got them off a scalper outside the old Tampa Stadium. Nice. But now, imagine. Jesus, that was what, 24 years ago.
I remember that field goal Scott nobody missed. Oh my God.
Yeah.
People go crazy.
So I tell people that game I had the Bills minus 6.5, and a friend of mine was a diehard Giants fan, right? And he just reached out to me recently. He saw my podcast on YouTube, and he said, Mike, remember me? We went to the Super Bowl together in 1990, and it was a kid, Chris Dyer. Well, he's not a kid. He was older than me. He's probably, you know, well into his 60s now, right? And I haven't seen him since probably then. 91, 92, he moved away to Connecticut, and he recently messaged me. He saw the podcast, and he Googled me and got my phone number and messaged me, and it was just like a blast from the past, you know? But I remember $500. That was the first year. The tickets had the hologram on it with the Tampa Stadium with the Vince Lombardi trophy in the middle, and people were offering us $500 for the ticket stub when we left the stadium. You know, but now, the last Super Bowl I went to was in Atlanta, Georgia, Patriots and Rams. When was that? A few years ago? 4 years ago? 5 years? When's the last time the Patriots?
Patriots beat the Rams. I think it was 10-3. That was a low-scoring game.
It was, it was a real low-scoring game. That play to Gronk down the end, I was biting my nails like, are they going to lose this game? And then he threw that pass to Gronk down to like the, you know, whatever it was, the 10-yard line or something. And then, you know, that was it. We knew at that point. So my biggest regret for that, and I made sure I didn't do this when the Celtics just won, was when the game was over. You know how you always want to get out of there and beat traffic?
Fly out,
So the game ended. We were so caught up in the moment, and we just got in the crowd and we walked out. And then afterwards, I'm like, why didn't we just sit there in our seats and watch the presentation?
Yeah, right.
And, you know, and the MVP, and I was like, fuck. You know what I mean? I dropped the ball. So when I saw the Celtics just win in Game 5, I'm like, I ain't going anywhere. You know, we sat in the seats and we soaked it in. We soaked in the moment. You know, it was unbelievable. You know, so you never really go to the games. When's the last time you went? What was the last games you went to?
I haven't been to games since like early, like the 90s, 2000. I used to go to a couple games here and there, but I used to just go home and watch it on TV because, you know what I mean? You know, you can sit doing change the channel, commercials and all that. I used to love football. I used to go to football all the time, and then the same thing happened. It was just like the games, like I just would go. I'd rather just be home watching where I could like do stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, with the tickets today compared to before, the hard tickets, you had nothing to worry about. You just give it to people. It was like everybody was happy. There was no thing. Now everybody thinks they're no good. Walk them in. They got to get your email and all this other stuff and do all this. It's like instead of selling 4 tickets, it would take 2 minutes. Now it takes almost an hour, for Christ's sake. When some people all the email, you got to keep doing it.
They're all worried. You got to walk them up to the thing and scan your phone and Yeah,
but it's sort of pain, but you know. And I'm almost coming to the end of the time. I've been doing it for a long time, you know, and it's just, I don't know, it's not fun. It's fun anymore.
Yeah, it used to be great. Right?
Yeah, it used to be unbelievable. Just go home, you know what I mean, 18, 20 years old with some money and be like, look at it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now it's like pulling teeth down there. It's like people would rather go to the window and spend $300 than buy the same ticket off you for $100 outside.
Yeah.
You know?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like I say, what do you pay for them? I tell the guy, listen, I got $300 seats for $100, and they'll go, oh yeah, let me check here first. I go, what do you come out with? He goes, oh, right here, $359. I said, $359 for the same seats. You could have got a lot cheaper. You know what I mean? Oh no, we're all set. We're all set. They think they look down on you now today.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, these, you know what I mean? We have to pay all this money, scalpers.
What's the most money you made in one day? Any idea?
The most money I made in one day, I made $7,500. And what do you call it? It was we went to the first All-Star game where the home team, whoever won, the home team would get home field advantage in the World Series. So what happened was, we went out there and We got 8 tickets off a guy, and we spent $300 each for the uppers and $500 for the lowest, and we had like $1,500, $1,000 for the other ones. And then went to the car race, and then like it was one big thing like in Joliet, Chicago, and made like $3,000 there. And we ended up leaving with $7,500 each. My friend who passed away a while ago, me and him, we drove up there to Chicago 14 hours.
Wow. Who was it?
Mike Demetrius.
I just didn't know.
Yeah.
I remember Billy Stanley got jammed up out in
Billy, yes,
Chicago.
good man, Billy.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Chris
Another
Island.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
another one. So, Chris, you like sports a little, right? I think Chris is a sports fan.
Yeah,
Justin.
24 hours a day, sports. I watch nothing else. That's it. Dolphins, diehards, since the 70s.
Yeah, literally,
Yeah.
this is all he does is
yeah.
watch sports. And the biggest thing with him, unfortunately, Justin, fucking Miami Dolphins fan. What imagine?
Mike, what are you
It's,
talking about, Mike?
listen, Chris. Let's not derail
Mike,
this.
Mike,
Let's not
what are you
ruin.
talking about, Mike?
Let's not
Mike,
ruin
what?
this podcast.
Dolphins go everywhere, Mike. No, Mike.
How's Tua this year? Yeah.
Tua, I think he's still in concussion mode right now.
Yeah, I shouldn't even joke about that because that shit sucks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I joke like, oh, he's out, but the guy should retire. I
Yeah.
mean, it's very. Look at Junior Seau. We were just talking about Junior Seau.
suicide.
Yeah, he ended up dying of suicide because of the concussions and the concussions cause so much shit after, and headaches and lack of sleep and mood swings. And there's so much, I've had a few concussions, but some of these guys, they've been playing football their whole life. They're playing when they're kids, they're in high school, they're in college. And, they used to call it getting their bell rung, right? They give them some, I used to box my short time boxing in the Silver Mittens, but I got a concussion once fighting. I got tuned up and I remember them snapping the smelling salts under my nose in the corner. And that's what they do back then, right? And these people that are doing it their whole lives, boxers, full contact sports athletes, whether it's hockey or boxing or football or any of this, now all the studies come out and they know, you know what I mean? So now stuff like that happens and, a lot of these guys, they've been playing their whole life and they don't care that they're millionaires. They don't want to quit. They don't want to give up. That's all they know. And they enjoy it. Most of them. I think most people that play professional sports love what they do. You might have, remember Keith Folk? I remember him saying he hated
Folk,
it.
yeah, baseball.
You remember
Red
that? He
Sox.
said he hated it. He didn't like,
Red
he didn't
Sox,
like
yep.
it.
Won the World Series.
Yeah, the last out, right?
Yeah,
the
last
ground
out,
ball
yeah.
on the mound. So I'm sure there's a few people that I just don't believe them.
Well, the
though,
guy
you know?
Mike Webster, I think it was, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh yeah, he was died like homeless, right?
Yeah.
He was a center. He was a beast.
And there was another guy who said that he heard voices saying, "Kill my wife, kill my wife, I kill my wife." From
What, like hearing voices in his head?
Yeah, saying "kill my wife" from all the hits he took over the years. He said he couldn't believe he was screaming at his wife and like going crazy and like he didn't know where it was coming from. And then he realized CTE come out and it was like,
CTE.
jeez.
One of my best friends in the world, Mickey Ward, I believe he's still the only boxer who's donating I was with him today, he's donating his brain to whatever, to science or whatever, to study, because he's had multiple concussions, and he's dealing with the effects of that now. I know he always gets headaches, he gets pounding headaches, and Mickey's the type of kid that, he would never take any, I tell him, I'll take a perk or this and that. Like, even though I don't do nothing, like, oh, if you got a headache, do this and that. And he just won't do it. He's not the guy that's going to do that. And he just, he'll deal with it. But I know he gets, bad headaches, from that.
Them three fights were the greatest fights I've ever seen in my entire life. Just nonstop, like punch, one punch. Oh.
I know. Arturo Gotti, Mickey Ward. If no one's ever seen it, just Google Round 9. Mickey Ward, Arturo Gotti. You can see it on YouTube. Did you ever watch Round 9, Justin?
No.
Well, you're going to watch it tonight.
All right.
You're going to watch it.
Gotti, did he get suicide or somebody killed him or was it something? How did he
Yeah.
die?
I mean, it was ruled. So Arturo Gotti, he went to his lawyer. He met this Brazilian stripper in a strip club in New Jersey.
Jeez.
He marries her, and there was reports of him slapping her around or something. Something, right?
Yeah.
And she gets him to go to Brazil. And right before he goes to Brazil, he calls up his lawyer and changes the will to leave her everything. And they're seen getting in a fight outside a nightclub that night where he reportedly slapped her or pushed her. And looking back, you think it might have been staged, like she might have staged the whole thing where she knew how to, push his buttons.
Jeez.
And went back to the house, and he was like passed out drunk, and they found him almost like this Sandra Birchmore thing. The way they found him hanging. Did you see this Sandra Birchmore thing? The girl got killed by the cops in Holbrook or whatever. Well, he was just charged with it. They found her slumped down with like this thing around her neck, around a doorknob, and it was just suspicious. Now they just charge a guy with murder. If you knew the story, it's looking 1,000% like he did it. I mean, he's not. I'm not going to say he did, but he did. And the way they found Arturo was hanging from like her purse strap over a thing. And, the family hired private investigators, and I think the purse snap would have broke. I don't know. It's just, the whole thing stinks.
Jeez.
But they cleared her. I think she might have been arrested or charged at first, and within 24 hours she was released and cleared. And anyone who knows, being in a third world country, you can buy your way out of anything if you got money. And if you got a couple $1 million, I'm sure, those charges can go away.
Oh, absolutely. What charges?
Yeah, what charges, exactly. So Chris Mack, me and him go back to Concord State Prison.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of that, my daughter says yesterday, I want to sleep over at my friend's house. Her stepdad. Now, who's her stepdad? Peter Cullen.
Peter Cullen, my buddy. Oh, I love Peter, my boy. Hey, he used to come up, right? He'd come up to the unit. He used to call me Flintstone. He's like, Flintstone, he goes, get up here. He goes, listen, grab your 5 top guys you have in here. We're like, what? I got a box of Joe and I got a dozen of donuts, but listen to the deal. Nobody gets a donut or coffee till I hear everybody one story. When you get to tell your story and you tell your whole story about the addiction and all that stuff, and then you get the donut and the coffee. So everybody does it. So then I said, Peter, tell me your story. I said, Pete, your story. Remember, you used to wear your little Concord uniform, go around and pull over prostitutes. He was dying laughing. He's on Flintstone. So then one day he come in and it was like 95 degrees out, and I had the fan right on my door.
Yeah.
Door right over.
Oh yeah, the big fan of the
big door. He goes, Flintstone. 7 a.m. He goes, bring my fan out. I said, Pete, it's 100 degrees. I'm not bringing that fan out there. He goes, bring the fan out now or you're fired from the runner's job.
Yeah.
And then he goes, the kid, Danny Mulaney, his name was. They call him the Ferret. He goes, Ferret, move down. You're taking Flintstone's job. So then 2 days later, I get a knock on the door. Cullen goes, Flintstone, please come back. What do you want? You want food? You want real food? You want some cigarettes? Come back. I haven't laughed once at you left. I said, Peter, I'll come back this time. Yep.
Yeah, Pete was a guy. I grew up with Peter, so I knew him for years.
Awesome guy.
Oh, the best. The 100% best. I said to my daughter, I'm a big fan of Peter Cullen.
Oh, he's the best, Peter.
I was friends with his brother Terrence, who passed away, and his brother Pat, who just recently passed away.
Oh, jeez.
Pat was sober a long time, man. But they're all very quick-witted, Irish, just funny. He's just one of the funniest kids you'll ever meet,
nice guy.
And I remember I got into Concord once, and I was still detoxing real bad, coming off the heroin and Xanax, and they cracked my door and like, yeah, you got the job in the HSU, which is like the infirmary, the hospital, and I'm dying, you know what I mean? I must have lasted 3 days and got fired, but he would always hook it up, try to take care of us. But yeah, I thought of you. I know you love Peter.
Peter was awesome. I still talk to Peter. I got his phone number every day. I talk to him all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete's the best. So me and Froggy and in prison, and then when I got out on parole. I haven't gotten parole many times, but this was one of the times. I got.
We both got on parole. That was the best.
Yeah, I got paroled to the Answer House in South Boston on G Street.
Yep.
For Broadway, and Chris was in there. Our friend Paul Doherty, Mousy, rest in peace.
Rest in
Paul
peace,
Doherty, one of the good ones.
Yep.
He was just the best. And I remember when I was with him, we're in the car driving around. He goes, "Oh, you from Lowell? You know Mickey Wood?" I go, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, he's a good friend of mine." So when people say that, so I'm in the back seat, and I call him Mickey. I go, "Mickey, and this guy Mousy." He goes, "Paulie Doherty." So I go, "All right, good." Because you never know. People always say shit, but me, Froggy, Mousy. Who else is there? It was really us three that really.
Paul Gerbic.
Oh yeah, Paulie Gerbic.
Was there. Yep.
Yeah,
Marty was the work in the night.
Yeah, Marty Jimenez. Yep. He ended up killing his girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Sad thing. That was terrible thing.
Yeah, the crazy part is we were going out every night. Remember, going out every night, 2 a.m. We were on parole.
Oh yeah.
And they were sitting out sitting, and Marty would like not he would tell we were all clean. So one day we all stayed in. Kevin Keaton come by.
The parole officer.
He goes, Mike McDonald, get over here. He goes, you got 3 choices. I'm like, I got nowhere to go. If I go back to jail, I can't say, can you parole me to somewhere? They parole me to the program, but they wouldn't parole me to a place.
Yeah.
So he says to me, he goes, you got 3 choices. Go back to South Bay, go to detox and find a bed, or find somebody a place to live. So I was with this girl that I knew. She let me move in with her at Braintree. I was like, what a fucking great thing, man. I got to stay there, and I was like, it was like a crazy thing that day.
Yeah.
He came to one night, 2 a.m.
I thought you were going to say Marty Glenn. Remember Marty used to show up?
Oh, Marty, Dominic jumping over the
Dominic
soda
Shiner.
machine with eggs in his hand, and Kyrie coming out there all falling asleep on the thing. They're all Marty Glenn banging on Mousie's door. Mousy! I'm like, I didn't really know Marty that good. Then I goes, so Mousy, it's a fucking big dude out there looking for you. He said, I goes, Marty, he's sleeping. He goes, wake him up. And they come up, pull the thing. He's in the bathroom for 3 hours, shooting up. I kept opening the door. Marty, all right? He's like this, like, yeah.
Marty Glenn is a fucking
an animal, tough as nails.
Yeah, an animal.
Great guy too.
Yeah, good guy. And Dominic Shiner, crazy as they come. He's actually doing a life bid now of 30 or 40 years.
He's getting out, I think, in a few more years. He's been in since, like 9 years. I think he's been in.
Yeah, he used to show up. Always had a knife on him, shaking people down when he was getting high. But so the Answer House. This is how it really happened. What Chris just said. We get a call one day from the parole officer. I want to see everybody in the house on parole in the parole office today. So I says to Chris and Mousy, let's go get a package and tuck it. So in street vernacular, Justin, you know what that means? Get a package and tuck it? Yes, get some stuff and put it, wrap it up in a balloon and tuck it, up, suitcase it, whatever you want to call it, And they're like, no, it's okay. I says, listen, they're calling everybody in parole in the house, the parole office. We're going to fucking jail today, And these guys like, no, it happens. They're probably just checking on us. And I got a bad feeling. So Mousy drives us 3 there. So we're in the lobby of the parole office in Quincy, and the parole officer, Kevin Keating, comes in and he says, all right, is there anybody here who has a job that's supposed to be working this afternoon? So I'm like,
yeah.
I didn't have a job, right? But I'm just thinking he's going to say, because the first thing he said was, all right, everybody's out of the house today.
Yeah.
That was the first thing he said.
Exactly.
And I'm like, motherfucker. So I raised my hand. Yeah, I got a job. I got to be there in, 5 minutes. And he's like, all right, you come in first. So I wasn't in good standing with my family at the time. Well, my family being my father, basically. That's the only place I could ever go, or whatever girlfriend I had at the time, if I even had one. So he brings me in the office. And he said, somebody basically ratted out the house who left on parole, some kid from East Boston or something. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, so he left and he says, hey, this guy who's running the house is taking bribes. If somebody pisses dirty, he's letting them get over. If he's letting them stay out all night. And it was this kid, Marty. And so he says to me that, and I go, oh, no. He goes, what do you know about that? I go, well, they always told me, if they do a bed check at night and you ain't there, you're out of the house. And I go, no, I've never pissed dirty, so I don't know. I've never heard anything like that. And he's like, yeah. And he goes, all right, you're out of the house. So I says, hey, not for nothing, Kev. I got nowhere to go. And Kevin Keating was the best.
It was unbelievable.
He was the best parole officer you could ever ask for.
Yep,
so,
fair as can be.
Yeah, fair as can be. Nothing bad to say about Kevin Keating. Well known in the area, and he was just great. So he goes, what do you say, Lee? I says, dude, I got nowhere to go. He reaches behind his back and he goes like this, Justin. Flings a pair of handcuffs on the desk. They go, wham. He goes, hey, Mike, you got somewhere to go? I said, well, yeah, I could take the red line to North Station and probably take a train. He's like, yeah, good idea. So I go to leave, and he goes, go out the fire escape out the back door. He didn't want me to walk through the lobby and give these guys a heads up, but they were locked in there anyway, and that was it. We were all out of the house.
What's funny, too, is that I'll never forget, so there was a police concert. Right? I was on parole there, and I was living on Linden Street in South.
Oh, yeah.
I was getting high with Billy Stanley, like Mousy, and so
Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy. So what do you call it? they committed Kevin Keaton. I was on parole, and he goes, "I was gonna come back to a police concert. I'm meeting my drug dealer at D'Angelo's thing, right?" So I pull up, I get in. The guy goes, "Hey, somebody's following us." I goes, "Who is it?" He goes, "Oh no, I put the things on my mouth, the rocks I had, right?" So long story short, I said, "Drive me here, Linden Street." So he dropped me off at East 8th Street. I go in the store, and you gotta get the rose thing.
The stem.
The stem, and you get the
Chore boy.
So I come back from the police concert now, the real police concert.
Yeah, the police.
So I go up
Sting.
there. I grab the chore thing.
Every breath you take.
Yeah, I grab the chore and I grab the stem. And the guy says, "Hey, what's up? Come here." He grabbed me with there. Goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "What's that for?" I said, "What do you mean? I bought my girl a rose. There's a rose in it." He goes, "Yeah, stop." He goes, "Get over here." He took my hat off, strip searched me 3 times. I had him under my tongue. The guy goes, "Where you coming from?" I said, "The police concert." He goes, What are you, a fucking wise guy?" I said, "Yeah, the police. They played a family part today." He goes, "Get the fuck out of here." 3 times he didn't search me. I was like shaking. I would go up to take a hit, and then fucking, and I'm shaking in the house. And then a couple of days later, I got caught. He goes, Kevin Keaton, he goes, "You don't think I saw you getting high every day up in your house? I just let you stay out because you only had like 60 days left, 30 days." And I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, I wasn't going to bust you for that."
Yeah, you that house across from Kano's.
Yeah, Kano's. Right? Yep, exactly. Linden Street. Yeah. Wow, you remember that?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
I remember Chris used to say, "Hey, Justin," he used to say like this. He goes, "If you go to Lowell with me," he goes, "Hey, listen, we get high in Lowell." He goes, "Just promise me one thing. Don't let me die in Lowell." He'd say, "Just drag my body across the line into like Tewksbury or whatever whatever the town is next to this fucking godforsaken place. Just drag me over the line. Don't let me die here. It'll be redundant. I can't die in Lowell."
I turned down a steak dinner. For what? He goes, "Just do me a favor. Drag my body out of Lowell. I'll be caught dead in Lowell." Remember that? How about the times in the aunt's house playing whist every night, going crazy, 3-0-4.
Yeah.
Oh God. Right. Huh.
Yeah, a lot of good times with Froggy.
Unbelievable.
Always a fucking character. Going back to until recently, Froggy got caught up on a case where he got caught on a wiretap, and this case dragged on.
Yeah.
How long did that drag on?
It's a long time.
Forever, right?
A long time.
It was a big case, and he got caught on a tap, right?
Yeah, tap. Yep.
Buying some. What was it?
It was 4.5 pounds of heroin, and I didn't do heroin. I never did heroin. I did one drug in my life, crack cocaine. That's it. I don't drink. I don't take pills. I never took really anything else besides just crack.
Yeah.
And I was in there. I watched these guys break it up. I was hearing the guy say, "Bring 5 keys or don't come at all." So they come in at 4 a.m. 18 gang member units. I hear bang, bang, bang. I drop the thing. I hear boom. They put guns to my head and said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Nothing." I threw the pipe underneath the bed, and they just took me out, and they tried to put me on $50,000 bill. The judge reduced it to $5,000, then to $500 because they said we got them on the wiretap, 37 calls saying I need 50, I need 100. So mine wasn't as serious. All the other people are getting caught with kilos, and it was just a crazy situation. I was like so caught up. I was in this house for 6 months straight. You know what I mean? Endless supply of cocaine, endless supply of heroin, 24 hours a day. So I'd get calls all the time. "Can you get something in?" And I'd always make something, but that was what happened. And I ended up getting out. I got a $500 bill.
Yeah. You and what year was that?
That was in 2015. You know what they call me?
What?
I was the only white guy, White Boy Bobby.
Really?
They call me. Yeah, ask everybody. True story. They said the thing, White Boy Bobby. And funny part, one guy lived in Attleboro. One guy lived in Chelsea. They goes, "Oh, the thing goes from all the way from Attleboro to Chelsea." Like there was they had like a drug ring, like a what do you call that thing when you
sweep?
Yeah, sweep. They called it like they thought it was gang related too, because people that were selling the whole big dudes. One guy was put on no bail. They couldn't find out his real name. The other guy's $2 million and $1 million.
And you?
Yep, and then me.
And how long did the case drag on for?
The case dragged on for like maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to keep going in.
So me and Froggy, when we were in the aunt's house, he'd take me down to Fenway with him, and he'd be making money. We'd be running around the combat zone in Chinatown.
Oh yeah, crazy, right? Yeah.
But it just, a lot of good times. And that house was good. You know?
The best one. The people who put in their hand, they go, "What do you got?" Let me see. We'll grab what we can, fight and run. You know what I'm saying?
It's down Christie's.
Yeah, Christie's, right
Yeah.
there. It was like go to the store. It was like going to a store and getting crack. There were 13 people standing on one corner. Here you go.
So Christie's was down. You know where the Roxy is? Well, the Grand.
Yeah.
It's kind of near the Grand. It was on the corner going towards the Common right there, near the TAM. Across from the TAM, it was a store. It was like, I think it became 7-Eleven after that.
7-Eleven, yep.
But it was Christie's. So I always tell the story. There's a Playhouse right next to it. So I'm in. Used to run around down there, and like he said, they'd sell crack right there.
Right
and
there too.
And one day we were going to the meeting up above Lowe's Cinema. Remember they had the meeting upstairs there, right where WERS is.
Right across from the Commons.
Yeah, right across from the Boston Common. So I'm out there one day, and this is before cell phone cameras and everything.
Yeah.
It might have been flip phones. I don't even know. Yeah, 2000. They were like flip phones, right? So I'm out there, and these people go, "Hey, the Rock," and they're black kids, right? I'm like, "Rock." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good, Like, Rock. I'm like, I'm good, I'm straight. They're like, "No, the Rock." They point, and Dwayne Johnson's standing there against the wall, fucking 5 feet away from me. Because they sold Rock right there at Christie's, and there's what is that, Schubitz? What's
the Wang Center right there.
No, not the Wang Center across. It's the other one across from the TAM.
The TAM, there was let me think.
There
was
It's like I think it might be Schubert. I don't know. It's some,
Yeah.
but The Rock, I think he was filming that movie with like the kid from Boston. He was like a Pop Warner football coach.
Yeah,
and he was filming something, and there was all kinds of people there taking pictures with him, and he was real nice, talking to everybody. He just seemed like a real down to earth guy. But yeah, Christie's.
Yeah, and I did like my whole life. I probably did about 7 years total in my whole life. And I remember going down there, and the best part was when the guy said to me, "Are you straight?" But yeah, what do you got? They go, "You're 5'0". I said, "I'm 5'0". I said, "Buddy, I did more fucking time on the toilet than you did in your whole life." I said, 5'0". I said, "You got anything you know?" "No, you're 5'0". And I go pull out the thing. I go, "Yeah, I'm to my 5'0" now." And they go, "All right." Oh yeah, and it's crazy, man. That was crazy down there. It was like more crack than I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, it was really crazy down the zone back then. Now it's
now it's nothing. It's like this.
It's nothing.
They changed all around.
Yeah, it's
It was even crazy when the combat zone was there. That thing, that just died down.
Yeah, the Naked Eye.
Naked Eye, yep. Right
Pussycat Theater.
Yep.
Remember Harry's?
Yep.
Harry's Playland Cafe, Essex Liquors, right there.
Yeah, right there, yeah.
When I was a kid, I tell people I used to go down there. We'd take the train from Lowell, and I'd run around down the other combat zone in Chinatown. I remember a taxi driver once. I was with my friend Kevin Boutet. Rest in peace, Kevin. It's going to be coming up on maybe 6 years. Christmas Day this year, he committed suicide in MCI Walpole. Jeez. Christmas Day. And so every Christmas, he was my best friend growing up. And, so every Christmas, I talked to his kids and it's just like, man, you know what I mean? It definitely ruins a holiday for them, and it's a tough time of year. Anybody who's ever lost anybody, it's tough around the holidays.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not to mention that being the anniversary. But me and him, I was 15, and he was a year or two younger than me. So he was young, and we go down and run around the combat zone. I remember a taxi driver once told me we were drinking back then Pepe Lopez tequila. Remember that?
Yeah.
Pepe Lopez White Lightning.
Yeah.
So we're drinking Pepe Lopez, and we run out, and I'm like, "Where can we get some booze?" And he says, "Oh, go to this Chinese restaurant, the Moon Villa, and just tell them you want some cold tea, and they'll give you a beer."
Yeah, cold tea.
So, you got to imagine, right? I saw a mugshot of me when I was like 23 or 24 in Concord. I look like I'm 12.
Yeah.
So imagine what I look like when I was actually 14, 15. I mean, I look like I was 10 years old, if you look back now. And I was with him, and we go in the Moon Villa. And I started going in there all the time, and we're like, we probably got $30 between us. I was selling joints and mescaline and stuff. Yeah. I might have $100 on me. So we're just like, small order of spare ribs and 2 cold tea. Dude, they come out with those silver tea kettles filled with beer. The little cups, and we're like, it's like 1 in the morning, they're open, and we're guzzling beer. And I remember another time I went in there, and there was 2 Boston cops in there, and it was during the winter. They had the big black leather jackets on with the walkie-talkie on the sleeve, and they're right next to me, and I'm like, 2 cold tea. They come out with like 16-ounce cans of Miller in brown paper bags.
It's funny you said that, because I went in there. I went in shit face one time. Cold tea. He goes, no cold tea. I said, give me cold tea. He goes, no cold tea. I said, I'm not fucking leaving. I go, you're not leaving? I went to he goes, come and walk outside. All of a sudden, they're coming out of sewer caps. It's fucking like 14, 15 Chinese people around me ready to fucking kick my head off. I'm like, buddy, relax, buddy. I just wanted some cold tea. That's it. They fucking they're all surrounding me. Like they come out of nowhere.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck around with them.
Oh, no. See you later.
You don't want to fuck around. That's like trying to rob them. Don't ever try to rob a Chinese person. They'll die for $5.
Chinatown of all places.
Yeah.
Millions of them over there.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, relax. No, you relax. You relax. You go, like, kick your head off. Crazy, man.
Yeah, cold tea. Cold tea was the best. So, Chris, what do we got going on these days?
Nothing much. Just trying to do the right thing. Stay out of trouble, Getting my life back, I've been dibbling, dabbling drugs for years since I was 20 years old, 1988. Been sober a lot, but I always relapse, and I just want to get my life together. Like the tickets were all good and all that, but I want to get a job because I appreciate my money more when I'm working. I had a good job, and I saved money. I was going to bed at 5, 6 o'clock. I was so tired, and instead of staying up smoking crack for 7 days straight, and like fucking seeing like different stuff, thinking I saw this, I saw that, what's that moving over there?
Yeah.
Fucking drugs, man. It's just, I'm trying to get my life back together, man, and I'm just happy and grateful for today, that I'm sober today, And you, Mike, you've been doing unbelievable, Mike. I remember sitting there watching my UFC fight, and I see Mickey Ward, Mike, front row. I'm like, oh, this guy's looking. I was on the ground laughing. I was like, what the fuck? Did I just see that? Oh, my God. He's on the... Yeah, Mike's, he's been doing good for so long, man. He's an inspiration, man. We've been good friends since the early 90s, late, you know what I mean? And just, he's a great guy, man. He's helped me out many times. And I appreciate a friend like that, man. We go back a long time.
Yeah, and you can do it. You're in the Charlestown house now?
Charlestown house, yeah.
Charlestown
great
Recovery House.
Best house
awesome.
I've ever been in.
Yeah.
It's like you have enough food to feed the whole neighborhood. And the staff is unbelievable. They're such nice people. It's like, you got to be stupid to get thrown out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been sober 5 years, one time, 3 years this time, but I always just made that quick money. I wanted that quick money, and all I wanted to do was get high. I used to tell my girl that I was with, here's $1,000, hold that for me. We're not going to spend that. You say that every time you come home. And I say, here you go. And then I spend it. I go, give me another $200. No, I'm not giving you. Listen, you just told me you're not going to listen. Give me the $200. I get the $200. And next thing you know, I wake up, I'd be done getting high. Instead of having $2,000, I didn't have a cigarette to smoke. I'm like this, like, look at my cigarettes everywhere. Like, I wish I had a cigarette.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that no more. I don't want to fucking give my money to somebody else, So I'm trying to look for a job, get a job, do it the right way, and get a paycheck. Because, paycheck's guaranteed. Money down the games really ain't guaranteed. And I just want to live my life. And,
it can be a curse where you just go and start making money, get a pocket full of money right away again. But, it's a double-edged sword. It's good. Then you start working all day and you're making peanuts. You're like, I can make this in one day. So it's like, try to do both. But I don't know. A lot of people, it's like, it's a trigger because that's what you're used to doing, getting that money and taking off. And you're all by yourself on the train leaving. It's not like you're with anyone. You get a pocket full of dough. It's easy to, make a bad decision. I think, the only good thing is, I think it's different when it's like opiates and you're shooting up and you get a physical thing. It's a mental thing, though. It's just as bad, that stuff, But like you said, you always do good. You don't like leave detoxes and halfway houses. You do good and you get some sobriety, but you just gotta figure out what's
I graduated 90% of the halfway house and I stayed clean like almost for a year after. But that's the one thing, like I said, my quick money, I don't appreciate it. I just spend it, blow it as fast as I can. I used to, like I said, sometimes make $1,000 and the next day I'd be jumping over the T thing, standing on that thing, jumping over, and I have to pay the fare.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the fuck did I just do that? Like for a week straight, I just blew $1,000 every week. It was just.
I got caught jumping the turnstile at Porter Square running down the stairs. Yeah, they chased me and everything. It was a big scene. I felt like such a fucking loser.
Right,
I didn't jammed up for that. Yeah, that was like another time I was, I probably told the story before at the Boston God. I was with Spike Watson. South Boston legend. Rest in peace, Spike, one of my closest friends. So I'm with Spike, and I used to go in the pro shop in the Boston Garden, Justin, and I used to steal like all the jerseys. So I'd go in there with a jacket, and they'd have 3 or 4 security guards at the door like this. So when they were on, I go, these are so easy to steal, these guys, because they don't think someone's just going to go in there and just clean them out, you know? So I'd go in there, and it was what, 2009, right after they won it. So they had the Celtics jerseys with was it the Larry O'Brien trophy?
Yep,
Whatever, you know, the stitched on the thing, and they were all the rage, right? So I'd go in there and, you know, take 4 or 5 of them. I'd take my jacket off. I'd snap the alarms off, cut the alarms off, whatever. I'd usually break them right off, and I put them on, and then I put my jacket over it and zip it up and walk right by him. So I go in them with Spike. It's like 4 PM. It's rush hour in North Station. I take my jacket off. He picks it up and walks out the door, thinking he's doing me a favor. I'm so crazy. I go, fuck it, I'm doing it anyway. Right? I steal some stuff. I put them on. I walk out the door. I walk right by the guys. Nothing. I get out the doors on the right. Remember where the pro shop used to be? By Dunkin' Donuts right there? I come out. I go around the corner. I'm leaving. I hear, excuse me, sir. 2 federal police officers from the federal building next door.
Jeez.
They go, hold it right there. Turn around. Come with me. They walk me back in North Station, have me take the things off. I got no shirt on, right?
Yeah.
I got some old shirt. They take the things off. They cuff me from behind up against the pole. I'm standing there, and then they wait for Boston police to come take me to fucking
Nashville.
No, they took me right over there, New Sudbury Street, whatever it is, area A. What is it right there?
Yeah.
The precinct over there. So, but I'm sitting there for fucking 20 minutes, a half hour while 100 people walk by. I see all kinds of people I know, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there arrested for fucking stealing fucking shit out of the pro shop, you know?
Right, God.
Maybe for old time's sake, I should go see if I could boost a fucking nice jersey out of there, huh?
Yeah, right.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's a good shot.
I mean, you don't go to jail with shoplifting anymore, do you?
No, it's absolutely.
What do they do? They probably just give it back to you in court and say, sorry, we had to.
It's legal.
Sorry, we had to put you through this, you know?
Right. Jeez.
But yeah, going back then with Spike.
Oh, the ESPN.
Oh, let's hear it. What do we got? We need the alert. Buffalo? Just start? What time is it?
Imagine this. I'm getting so old, 57. I need my glasses.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, bust out the readers.
Here we go. Bingo. Cheetahs. Okay, here we go. Give you a live update from the Frog. Here we go. Here we go. Let's get it here. ESPN. Bang.
What do we got?
The score right now would happen to be. Here we go again. Yeah. 14-3 Ravens over Bills.
No way.
Yep, 14-3, my friend.
You never know with Baltimore what they're going to do, huh?
Yeah, they're hot and cold.
Yeah.
They're likely to blow that lead.
Yeah. What quarter is it? What do we got?
Let me see what quarter it is. Second, yeah.
All right. How much time left?
The second just started. It's like 13 minutes.
All right. How about Justin? Did you watch? I think most of us did the same thing with the Bama Georgia game, right? We watched a little through the third quarter, and then we shut it off and thought it was over. And then I realized I almost missed the fucking comeback of the century.
30-3 it was. That's 41.
The safety. After the safety, it was like, it was a few minutes into the third quarter. I'm like, the night before I went to my good friend Johnny Bart's birthday party at Umbria. A lot of good people there. Today's his birthday, actually. Today, 29th, right? Today's 29th?
29th, yep.
29th. Today's Johnny's birthday. Happy birthday, Johnny Pop. They had his party Friday night. Nicky Verano, Frank DiPasquale threw the party at Frank's place in Umbria upstairs. A lot of great guys there, and we had a real good time there. What was I going to say about that? So that day we're out till 2 a.m, and I wake up. And I go, oh, fuck. Jake Wilcox, who's my friend Dennis's son, he has a brother, Shay, who's a good fighter, just turned pro. Jake had a game. They invited me to go to this game. It was Brown-Harvard. So I wake up, and I was up. When I'm out till 2, 3 in the morning now, even though I don't drink or anything, it takes a lot out of me. But when you get older, you sleep less. Like, I want to sleep till 11 in the morning, but it's like our bodies don't allow us to sleep till noon anymore. I don't know what it is. I need some fucking gummies or some what do you call it? Melatonin. Yeah, melatonin. Yeah. Like, I need something, or I'll wake up automatically. I mean, sometimes I'll sleep till 8, but that's like a big deal. And I did. I slept till like 8:30. I wake up. Johnny calls me with Danny Ecasella, and they're already on the way to the Brown game. And I go, fuck. I really wanted to go to that, So I just go, I don't even think I brushed my teeth, Chris. I just banged down a coffee and fucking hit the road. And I went down to the game. And did you see this game or hear anything about it, Justin?
The end of the Bama Georgia game?
Brown Harvard.
Oh, Brown.
Oh, yeah, that was a good game.
Dude, unbelievable game.
Nice pass, nice catch.
Dude, so Jake's a stud, the quarterback, my friend's son. He's a stud, right? So Harvard's, controlling the game. It's close. Now Harvard goes up. They're up by 5 points in the end. And there's like a minute 39 seconds left or a minute 49 seconds. And they get the ball. It's 3rd and 2. They get stuffed. It's 4th down. Now the clock's going to run down to 49 seconds after the runoff or something. But they get stuffed. They call a timeout, so it's like a minute and 29 seconds. Now they send the field goal unit on the field. They're on like the 15-yard line. They're down. They're down there, right? So Danny Ecasella is with Dennis, and Dennis is like, they played their hearts out. He's like, no, it ain't over, it ain't over. And he says to us, he goes, they shouldn't be going for a field goal here. They should go for it. Because anything could happen. There could be a bad snap. Dude, no sooner he says it, they snap it right over his head. Yeah. The ball goes to like the fucking 40-yard line. Kid from Brown picks it up, scrambles down to like the 20. They tackle him. Now there's like 49 seconds left, or 39 seconds. So I turn around, I look at Danny, I go, what the fuck, right? Because he just said there could be a bad snap. Yeah. This game ain't over. So now he says, number 88, corner of the end zone. Right?
Yeah.
I go, I don't know. He goes, yeah, the safety don't got time to roll over to the corner. He's gonna be late. Dude, what does he do? He throws like a fade route to number 88 to the corner of the end zone. The kid touches it. The place erupts. We rush the field. It's like madness. But I said to Danny afterwards, I go, dude, what the fuck? And you can see I made a video, and he's like, I called it. That was my call. That was my play call. And dude, it was afterwards I was like stunned. I go, dude, what the fuck? It was, I've been to a lot of games.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know. That was fucking. The
best part was they haven't beat Harvard in so many years. So he did a big thing.
Forever. And
live on there, I was like, whoa, what a catch. I was like,
yeah. That's a historic game. They'll be talking about that game 25, 50 years from now.
Harvard lost to Brown. I said, you're going to be kidding me. I didn't know who played, but you got friends on there.
Yeah. Well, that's why, because they carried me off the field, actually. The whole team.
Nice. Right. So would they throw you outside? Would they throw you out? Yeah,
so here's the best thing, right? So I'm during the game. It was like when we went to the Patriots game against Seattle. It was so hot. You want to go to a football game. It's usually October, September. Yeah. You got a hoodie on. It's great before it gets too cold.
Yep.
Like these games are usually, it's just perfect fall weather, football weather. Dude, it was like 100 degrees at the Patriots game. I was melting. This game, same thing. We're in the sun the whole first half. Third quarter, the sun went over and it cooled off, right? So the end of the first half, I go, hey, I'm going to take a walk. I always do that. I walk around, I do my thing. I go, I'm going to go to the concession stands, walk around. I'm looking for, footage for Snapchat, and I did. I got a Harvard fan puking into a bag. I go, I'm doing what I do. I'm, going around, scouting out the area for content. And I'm out there waiting in line. I'm going to get like a taco. No, I get some poke bowl or something, and I hear Mike Lee over like the fucking... the stadium, right? I go, wow, there's got to be a player on Harvard or something with, my name. And I'm sitting out here, Mike Lee. I'm like, dude, am I fucking losing my mind right now? All of a sudden, my phone starts ringing. It's Dennis Wilcox, Jake's father. He goes, dude, you hear them calling your name? I go, dude, shut up. Yeah. I go, but I did. He goes, yeah, they're saying, Mike Lee, move your truck now. It's going to get towed. So I always park right in front of the place on the curb. And I'm always getting towed.
Of course you are.
Like I pull up to the game last second. Every lot's full. I'm like, no, I'm not parking 10 miles away. I'm like, you tow it. I'll deal with it when I get out.
That's you for sure. That's definitely you.
I'm like, I knew I heard my fucking name. He goes, yeah. So now I go out, and there's some Providence cop. He's like a sergeant. I go, hey, thanks for not towing it. You know, I had a little orange cone in front of it. Like,
That's gonna help. That's getting more angry.
Yeah, I had the cone. I had the cone. Sometimes I'll put the hood up. But you never know what I'm gonna do. I have like this bag of tricks I use, you know. So he's like, yeah, get the cone up. So I go, all right. So I move it like right down the street around the corner, same place, no parking. I want to get back in the game. I don't even care.
Yeah.
So I come back and the sergeant's there, and I go, I want to make a point of it because I think they're gonna fucking get me again.
Yeah.
So I go, hey, Sarge, you know, hey, thanks for not towing me. Because anywhere else, they're just going to hook it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't Boston anywhere in the world. I go, wow. They actually made an announcement.
As soon as you get out of the car, they walk right over. They start taking videos. And I can go on camera so that way they get you.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, so I want to make a point. I say, hey, man. I say, hey, thanks for not fucking hooking it. And I appreciate it. He goes, hey, come here. You go over. He goes, hey, what's the deal with this Beanshooter thing? I go, what do you mean? He goes, you know what I mean. I go, well, that's me. He goes, yeah, man. I go, check me out on Instagram. He goes, I did, man. You're all over the place, huh?
Yeah. Trying to sell Mike a ticket. Everybody's come up and like, yeah, hey, Beanshooter, what's up? 10 people come up. 8 people come up like, can I just sell these tickets to him before you keep coming up here? He's like, fans of it, I love the Beanshooter. I'm like, Mike, what's the Beanshooter? And then we went to a fight. Remember the fights? My brother, we went there. We watched the fights.
Yeah.
And Mickey tried to get Dickie, got my brother to meet Freddie.
Yeah.
Yeah, everywhere you go, you get up to help me go down to the concessions and all that to get a picture with Mickey Ward, and they're all like, Beanshooter, I love you. It's here, like, what the fuck is Beanshooter? What is he talking about? Then he showed me all the things, priceless. The guy's unbelievable, man. I'm so proud of him, man. He's come a long way.
Thanks.
And he's just a dynamite guy, man. Funny guy. He makes me laugh. I look at him, we laugh. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
And he's just such a great guy, man. I'm so happy for him.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Love you, brother.
Likewise,
Absolutely,
Frog.
man.
Always, you know. So I go and I move and I go back in and the game ended unbelievable. But like when the cop said that the day before, like on my Instagram, I'm in Merrimack, New Hampshire, eating fucking at some seafood place. Then that night I'm in Umbria in the North End till 2 a.m. Then I'm in Rhode Island. My friend Spiro, who I took to the birthday party, Johnny's birthday party with me. He goes, dude, aren't you tired? He's like, that fucking wiped me out, being out till 2 a.m. the other night in the North End. I go, dude, I don't know. Yeah, I get tired, but I was so glad I went to that game. And the best thing about the game was after halftime. Now I went to the BC game when they come back and we left early. But I wanted to stay.
Which one? Who are they playing BC? I think?
Michigan State.
Oh, Michigan.
2 weeks ago, I was at the game.
Yeah, the pouring rain.
Yeah, see, that's what it was. It was soaked. Yep. So at halftime, I want to leave. Then we go back, and we're standing there watching the third quarter, and the game's getting close. Now they all want to leave. I don't want to leave.
Yeah, right.
I was so pissed because everyone stormed the field. I would have been on the field like I was here, like I'm fucking 15.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? Running on the field. I'm lucky I didn't fall and break my hip or something. I mean, I'm getting a little too old to be rushing the field. But I was so mad I missed it. But this game, it looked like Harvard had it in the bag. So it was a little back and forth in the second half. So I go, yeah, let's dip out of here. And then right when I said it, it was like, boom, 40-yard bomb. So then I'm yelling at Dennis Wilcox. I'm like, Danny and Johnny wanted to leave. They're fucking fair weather fans, right?
Yeah, right.
This kid's a quarterback, right? So they're fucking like, shut the fuck up, you know, because they didn't want to leave. It was me, right? Yeah. So it's like a joke with us. Now look, they wanted to go. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not me. I'm here fucking dying with my boots on. So I'm fucking going nuts, right? So finally towards the end, you know, they're like, yeah, let's dip. And then Dennis goes, there's no way these two would have said those words. That was fucking you, Beanshooter. That was you saying, let's dip. So we had a good laugh out of it. When I went on the field, Jake come over to me, you know, and he's like, Beanshooter, no leave. So we got some good footage on the field. And
the best part about that game was the red bandana.
The red bandana game.
What a fucking hero that guy was.
Yeah, you know that guy, Justin? Yeah, so that's what that game, that was dedicated to him, red bandana.
Yeah, saved all them people. They were like, who?
He kept going back in.
Who saved me? The guy with the red bandana. He said to everybody, he just kept coming up, coming down, coming up, coming down. It was just so sad to watch. It's
an amazing story.
They won that game, which is good.
Yeah.
Come back to win.
Yeah.
Pouring rain.
That was awesome. And so BC, comeback win, we went. Brown, comeback win, we went. Patriots, Seattle. That sucked. It went into overtime. We left out early to beat the traffic, but they should have won that fucking game.
Oh, yeah, they should have.
They had that. What was it? A blocked field goal or something?
Field goal. Yeah,
a blocked field goal. You know, that fucked us. You know, but yeah, it's been good. We've been. I've had some good times, you know, wrapping up the summer and the summer's been wrapped up, but you know, the end of the summer going in, before we know it's going to be freezing out.
Oh yeah. And
listen, I plow for the city of Lowell, but I got a fucking nice sander system. I got to put it on my truck. If anyone got any sand and stuff for me, I'd like to do that instead of plow, because you know they call the sanders out. If it rains, it freezes over.
Yeah.
There's ice. These, businesses, you got to go and sand. You got to go and sand. When you're plowing, it's got to be 3-4 inches of snow before they even call you out. So these last couple of winters, we've got nothing for snow. Nothing.
No, nothing.
And then people are thinking it's global warming. What do you think? You think there's anything to that global warming?
I think it just shifts. I think
Me too.
Yeah, climate change.
Yeah, I'm not a believer.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm not a believer in climate change.
Me neither.
But I mean, the last couple of years we haven't gotten shit for snow, so I don't know. Maybe there's a little something to it. But yeah, the sanding thing. But Froggy, getting back to you.
Yep.
Looking for some work. What would you want to do?
I'll take anything right now, just as long as I get a paycheck. You know what I mean? I'd rather not hustle no more and do all this. I'm getting too old. 57 years old. You know, as you can see, my voice gets deeper and deeper every year. And but yeah, I take anything, man. I look for a job. You know what I mean? The 9 to 5 job or whatever, the 3 to 11, whatever I can get. You know.
Yeah.
And I worked 2 jobs in my life. There was one for the city, and there was one at Audubon Payne. That's the only ones I worked in. I'm 57 years old. 2 jobs I've had my whole entire life.
Audubon Payne. Remember going to get an orange juice? It was like $8. I'm like, what the fuck is this? That was back in the day.
The crazy part was Audubon Payne. I was on probation at the aunt's house. Yeah. So I'm going, what do I do? Right. This is when we get paid $5 or something an hour. This was back in 2000.
You stole the fucking thing.
Yeah. So I said,
I knew where this was going.
There's got to be a way I can make some fucking money here. There's got to be a way I can make some money. So I goes, coffee, 90 cents. I said, okay, cool. You know what I'll do is I'll get a couple rolls of dimes and have them get the dollar, just give them the dimes of my thing and not put the money in the register. I was leaving with like $100 a day and like thing. And then people were coming in. The guy would come in with his girlfriend. I didn't even know who he was. And I'd say thing. And then I'd sell it to the girl. I said, no, just give me $10. Oh, it's like 14. So no, just give me 10. You're all set. That went on for like a couple of months. And then all of a sudden, the guy gets a phone call. Said, hey, some wife's husband just called and said that she's been getting all kinds of deals over there that you're not charging the full amount.
Way.
And I'm like, yeah. And I said, you got to be kidding me. So the guy was like 10 years younger than me, the guy that was the manager.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm sorry, I got to let you go. And he goes, I have to call your probation. I was like, officer. I said, buddy, let me tell you this one thing. I'll fucking leave. I quit. I don't care, but don't call my probation officer because I'll be back here. And he fucking said, I'm not going to call him and thing. Yeah.
So that was good.
But I'm just looking for a job now to keep my life going. I've been sober now 30-something days. You know,
yeah.
When I was using, man, I just was lost. And I loved life, and I just wanted to get a job and, like, take care of the rest of my life, you know.
Yeah, 30 days.
I see you guys like you doing, like, I got plenty of guys, friends who will help me. Like, I mean, people come up to me all the time and, like, they're like, listen, buddy, you can do it. And, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. It's got to be around the right people, positive people, man.
And you do good. You know, when I first got sober, I was sober like 60 days. I got out and I was in a sober house in Pompano Beach, Florida. And one day I'm on the couch and there's a knock on the door and it's Mickey Ward and Tucker Hardigan, who was another. Tucker was a friend of mine, but I don't know. I don't know. Not anymore, I'm going to say. Yeah. Me and Tucker aren't friends anymore, but Tucker was sober for a long time. He still is. So I remember they come in. I'm like, oh, so happy to see them. And they're like, hey, this ain't a friendly visit. This is a well-being check, you know. They're checking my eyes, making sure I'm not high. I'm like, no, I'm doing good, you know. Yeah. And I remember Tucker said to me, he's like, how long you been sober now? And I'm like, only like 60 days. And he said, don't say only 60 days. He goes, guys like you, guys like me, it's hard to stay sober for 60 seconds. He goes, so give yourself some credit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, you've been sober 60 days. That's a hell of a fucking achievement, you know? And I always say that to other people when they're like, I only been clean a couple of weeks, or I only been sober 30 days. I say, hey,
yeah,
let's say only. You know what I mean? Because it's not easy, you know?
Yeah,
what do you got, bugs in here? What's going on?
I was talking to my brother today, right? I was talking to my brother today. I was getting the 30-day chip, Mike. 30-day chip, right? So
Yeah.
I said, if they would told me to sing and dance and they give me all the crack I want, I'd be up there. They listen, don't take me down. I'll stay up here all night.
Yeah.
But then when I go up and get my 30-day chip, I'm sitting there shaking. Do I do it? Do I don't do it? Do I do it?
Yeah.
Do I don't do it?
Yeah, in front of
What
everyone,
am I, an idiot doing this? And I think I'm going to trip over some guy's feet walking up to get the chip.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, oh my God, I just got to do it. I get over it. So I went up. I get up there. I'm already saying to myself, please don't fall. Please don't let something happen. And if I hear, oh, wait a second. Hang on a second. I'm in there 2 minutes. It's like 60
We
people.
got no 30.
Yeah, we got no 30-day chip. And they goes, oh, wait, we got one here. And I was like, I was already beat red. I'm going, people clapping. I'm like, you know what I mean? Things like that I should be doing. Like, I don't like.
You freak out over it.
Exactly.
You overanalyze it. You get
Anything-
nervous. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to get on the game, fucking smoke crack for a week straight and going down there like 99-degree weather, soaking wet, sweating with a towel on my head going, yeah,
Yeah.
need tickets?
Yeah.
You know?
Tickets.
Have tickets,
Buying,
someone
selling,
needs them.
trading, upgrade.
Trading, upgrade. You know it. Yep.
That was his line,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you
Let's hear it.
Used to say,
Let's
listen,
hear it.
Listen, you say to the guy's son, you go, don't you want us to sit in good seats? No, yeah, Dad, can we get that? Look at these seats right in the field. Oh, yeah, no, we don't really want. I said, listen, buddy, if he wants us to sit in these seats, man, do him a favor, man. You're going to spend $80 a piece and you're going to spend $100 in there for worse seats. Oh, I will take them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can just,
So what's you saying down there?
what's that?
What do you walk around saying? Tickets.
Tickets, selling, need them. Trading, upgrading, buying, selling. Yep. Come here, buddy. Come over here. What do you need, buddy? Yeah. Yep.
I can't believe since 1982.
1982, 83.
Holy
Yes.
shit, I was 13 fighting in the Silver Mittens in 1982.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
maybe a
brother
little
fought
later.
Silver
30s.
Gold Gloves too. And,
Yeah, your brother beat Freddie Roach,
yeah,
right?
beat Freddie Roach. Yeah, he was.
Freddie Roach, Wild Card Jim. Freddie's the man.
Yeah.
Dickie Eklund Jr. is now number 2 guy in charge. Yeah, you know that?
Yeah. Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, you see him, and he's always in the corner, all the big fights. Freddie's getting older now. You know, he's
yeah.
dealing with the Parkinson's and everything. But when
Yeah.
he's in there holding the mitts, he's fine. You know, but it's it's a debilitating disease. It's tough.
Yeah,
you
remember
know?
we tried to get Freddie to meet my brother. We were going back. We were running around the
Yeah.
whole thing. And everybody yelling, Beanshooter, Beanshooter.
That was a good time over
Yeah.
there. That was that
So-
BU, right?
Yeah, that was BU.
Yeah, good old BU. So yeah, how long's this been? What do we got?
Hour on the dot.
Hour on the dot. See that, huh?
Don't forget.
Fresh. So I hadn't done a podcast in a while. I gotta get a few done because I'm leaving for Columbia. Did I tell you what I'm doing in Columbia, Justin?
Yeah, you did the old Titan, tuck and Titan.
Turkey neck.
Yeah,
You know what turkey neck is?
like this. Like, look, I lost
Yeah,
all
I
that
can't
weight.
listen.
I lost all that weight. Dude.
Listen, I can't be having this.
Yeah,
I lost a bunch of weight. Oh yeah, I lost. I was 224, 226, right around there always. Now the other day I was 209. It's been 2 months. I've been doing legs twice a week. I've been eating at like 1 in the afternoon, 7, 8 at night, sometimes 9 at night, right? But I won't eat till 1, 2 in the afternoon the next day. So I'm eating twice a day, a lot of steak, a lot of protein stuff. Still a little bit of carbs. I had some chicken parm tonight and some pasta. I actually had a cannoli tonight too, but I haven't had a soda in 2 months. I used to have extra cream and sugar in my coffee. I'm drinking my coffee black, so I'm drinking black coffee every day with water, no soda. You know, once in a while I have a little sweets. I'll have a Reese's cup or something. You know, so I'm not like totally devoid of sugar, but I mean, compared to before, I mean, it was every day. I'd have a soda with lunch.
Yeah.
I'd have a soda with dinner,
Oh, yeah, me too.
and coffee with extra cream and sugar. And I always had a stomach ache. After eating this good for a couple months, I'm thinking I might be lactose. Like the other day, I had a coffee with cream and sugar. My stomach was
Yeah, I get the
was
same
buckled.
thing, yeah.
I didn't, and I used to come home at night, always have a snack before I went to bed, whether it was some Milano cookies and a glass of milk or a few Oreos. And another thing I did, every night, bottle of Gatorade next to the bed.
Oh, jeez.
So the sodas, the Gatorade,
Yeah.
the sugar. So
Same thing.
So no Ozempic, just doing it the hard way. No, I always said if this don't work, maybe I go that route. I mean,
Yeah.
I've shot enough things. I don't think Ozempic's going to kill me, but you never know. But
I'm not trying to rush you. I'm embarrassed, but I got 11 o'clock curfew, so.
oh no, just say we wrap up in an hour. Another thing, had a I went to a cool benefit today for a guy I know, Frank Truville, who was a guard in Billerica, who was a good guy. Always treated me good. I mean, just a nice guy. I never seen him. I mean, if you're an asshole, he'll bring the ruckus. You know, he's a big guy, but just a nice fucking kid. And his nephew was down in Florida, and he had one of them kratom drinks. You know what kratom is? It's like yeah, you've heard of it, right? Yeah, the kratom drink. He fucking died.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, he had no other drugs in his system, like no weed, no nothing, but this kratom shit he was doing. They had these kratom bars all around Florida. So today they had a nice, like a benefit, like a bike ride for him at Owen and Ollie's in Drake-It. And I saw a lot of guys there. Mickey and his wife Charlene and his daughter Casey showed up. And I hadn't been, you know, we hadn't all been together in a while. I'm usually with Mickey or this and that. And Charlene's the best. It was really good to see her. Charlene was really good to me when I first got sober and helped me out a lot. And Mickey obviously saved my life by taking me down to Florida and getting me in that place. And I'll forever be in debt to Mickey Wood and Charlene. They opened up their house to me when they were living in Florida at the time. When they left, they gave me all their furniture. They just... you know, they're just fucking great. So it was really good to see them and Frank Truville and another guy, Frank Gorman, who was a caseworker in Billerica. And I was in the hole for so long, they were laughing. They used to have these request slips to see the caseworker, and it would say, reason you want to see the caseworker. And Frank Gorman was the caseworker for the guys in the hole, and I'd always put a request slip once a week and it would say, you know, reason for meeting. And I'd always put, I need a hug. And they'd have to come see you in the hole, you know? And he'd say, Mike, can you stop putting I go, Frank, I need a hug. I've no human contact for a while. I need a hug. So they just laugh and walk away. So it was good to see those guys, and it was a good cause. And I just wanted to throw that out there. I saw another guy, a guy from Concord, Crowley. Remember him?
Jimmy Crowley.
He worked in receiving.
Yeah, Jimmy. South Boston.
Yeah, real. He's from around my way. I think.
Crowley, the other one is Sergeant Crowley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was always with Angelo.
Yeah, Angelo. Yeah,
Angelo Karabatis, another madman. Yeah. He had to go flip out and screamed at me once.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, he yelled at me, but after that, we were good. Yep. But Froggy, man, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, too, man. Yeah, anytime,
Froggy's in the Charlestown house. You know, hit me up, anybody. If you got any work for him, anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll take anything, man. Anything's a...
Yeah, give me a message. Any guys in the program out there that need any help, you got a guy trying to do the right thing, you know?
Yeah, but I appreciate everybody, man.
And Justin, thank you. Hopefully I'm not going to be on an episode of Botched, you know? Especially since I started losing weight, right? I started noticing it in the mirror. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm either going to have a fucking turtleneck on all fucking winter, right? Or I'm getting this done. So that's it. All right, what's that, 36, 37? In the books. Thank you. Let's
Justin.
go.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Let's go. Beanshooter. It's not a line he doesn't tow. In a world full of dogs, you're gonna need a dog catcher. If you're wearing a mask out there, and fresh air's gonna get you. He always shoots from the hip. For iced coffee, take a sip. Toss it out the window.